Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to be breaking down the trailer that just premiered for the movie Morbius, starring Jared Leto. And this is the Spider-Man character, Morbius, who is owned by Sony. This is their second in their kind of standalone villain MCU verse, whatever the hell you want to call it. Its first film was Venom, and I'm assuming the film after this that'll come out probably is Venom 2. But so right now we have the first trailer for this. It is coming out this year. And I honestly, going into this, I didn't really have a lot of faith in what I was going to see. I actually thought I was going to see probably a horrible, horrible train wreck. But I was kind of pleasantly surprised. But we'll go. Well, I should say pleasantly surprised, but not hating it completely. But let's go into this because it is actually a fairly lengthy trailer. It's a little over 2.5 minutes. So going into the first part, we get the background of Michael Morbius, the Jared Leto character, and I will admit through the trailer I was kind of expecting Jared Leto to kind of do his usual my speech is a little slurry and stuff like that, kind of like what he did with the Joker, but I didn't see that. He sounded very clear to me, which I'm kind of curious if, maybe that's just kind of, trailer trickery. In reality in the movie he sounds like shit, like he normally does. But only time's going to tell on that. Maybe if it comes out in one of the other trailers. But for his speech and stuff like that, I'm thankful that he sounds like a normal human, at least in the trailer. But basically, we go into his character of Michael Morbius. He's a man that has some kind of a rare blood disease, and he's looking for a cure, and that gets him desperate. And he does something involving slicing his hand open and a whirlwind of bats. That somehow cures him of his blood disease, but also turns him into a vampire of sorts. I guess not the traditional way you become a vampire, but somehow it turns him into a vampire. And they go through the basic stuff of the trailer. We basically just get to know the Morbius character. We get to see some of the supporting cast. It looks like a character that's kind of his mentor. There looks like there's another character that's the love interest. We don't really see too much of the villain character in this, but it's there's stuff sprinkled in throughout there. And the Doctor Who actor, I can't remember his actual name, he has a very brief snippet in the trailer. But looking at this from that, then we move on to kind of the center section of the trailer, which is basically kind of like what happens to him. They show the bat tornado and stuff. And then they start showing he can do this, he can do that. And kind of going over his superpowers, basically. He has increased strength and reaction time. Or increased strength and speed, and it looks like he has better reaction time and stuff, and he can kind of move and almost like teleport. It's kind of weird. They show a sequence where it looks like he's jumping from the floor to the ceiling, but there's like these misty spots, like almost like when Nightcrawler teleports, there's that little poof of black smoke. It kind of looks like that, which is a little weird to me. I don't know if that if that's just something involving that particular scene, or if that's going to be an aesthetic choice throughout the film. I think that would get annoying if it was. And then going through that, they explain we can use echolocation and stuff like that, and they give you a couple little snippets of him doing that. And then by the end of it, you're kind of like, okay, and then he's supposed to be fighting some people. There's scenes of him taking out these armed soldiers in what appears to be either a warehouse or the inside of a boat. I can't like a battleship. I can't really tell. But it looks like he's in some kind of industrial area, and he's just picking these guys off and stuff like that. And again, nothing we really haven't seen before. And that's kind of the problem with this trailer, is that it's not showing me necessarily anything bad, but it's not showing me anything enticing either. Most of it we've seen before. I mean, to be very honest, how many times have we seen a bat tornado in movies? At least twice, to my knowledge, maybe 3 times. So, I mean, again, a lot of this is nothing really new. This is something that, again, seems to be borrowing those classic, vampire, or more modernist, I guess, vampire tropes of, it's kind of like, the only thing they're missing is that he doesn't sparkle in the sunlight, which, please God, don't make them do that. But, he doesn't look bad as Morbius. The eyes are okay; they look all right. And they do show him at one point, a little late in the trailer, actually in what would be the form of Morbius that we're most used to, which is he has like the skeletal nose and stuff like that. And it doesn't look too bad, although I will say it looks like completely CGI. It doesn't look like they did as very many practical effects, which is kind of disappointing. I would have liked to have seen some practical effects with that, especially for the facial makeup. I think that would have been interesting. But it looks like they made that version of Morbius completely CGI. And again, other than the fact that I think the CGI is it doesn't look terrible for CGI. It doesn't look like Thanos or anything like that. It's not that good, but it does look a little wonky, but it's passable again because from what we can presume, he's not actually going to be in that form the entire time because I got to show Jared Leto's face every once in a while. So it seems like he's going to be in the Jared Leto form more than he is the full Morbius form. But moving through that, there's actually a funny little Easter egg in this that Vash pointed out to me because we both watched the trailer. Is if you actually go to timestamp 209 in the trailer, which by the way the trailer is linked in the description. If you go to 209 in the trailer, then you will see that there's actually like a Spider-Man. Initially, it looked like graffiti. But it's not actually graffiti. It looks like one of those like fathead wall stickers for like sports stars and stuff or superheroes. It looks like they just took one of those and they stuck it to the wall behind where Jared Leto was walking. But it's just Spider-Man there, which again is kind of I guess that's kind of the thing. Like okay, now we can put him in here and stuff like that. We don't have to dance around it. Um, but it doesn't. The thing is, this trailer does not give away an exorbitant amount of the plot. You get to know who Michael Morbius is. You kind of know the reason why he is looking for this cure. You don't know exactly what happens to him, and then you kind of know where it goes after that. But you don't really understand who the main villain is or what's going on like that, which is fine. Again, it's a first trailer. I don't want them to reveal the entire plot of the film in the first trailer. That is the cardinal sin of trailers. And luckily, this one does not commit it, although there are probably still going to be two trailers that come out, two totally new trailers that come out before we actually get to the release of this film. So those trailers could easily muck it up, but this trailer has not. I think it leaves enough room where you can have a couple more trailers and it'll work out. Now, the one little stinger at the end of this, which I find is interesting given certain news that's been coming out about Morbius itself, is that is at the very end of the trailer, we actually see Michael Keaton, who, if you don't remember, plays the Vulture in the Spider-Man MCU films, and is currently, I believe, he's currently in prison in those films, if I remember correctly. And so he is at the very end of the trailer. It looks like he's wearing some kind of medical uniform or something like that. But he's talking to Jared Leto, and he says, "Michael Morbius not playing the good guy anymore." And then it cuts to him, and he just says, "What's up, Doc?" Like Bugs Bunny. And it's kind of funny because again, it's Michael Keaton being a crazy person, but. It's interesting because that's kind of something that has been going around is that Morbius actually exists within the MCU. And if that's the case, and Vulture is crossing, that's actually Vulture in the trailer that we see, and that's something, then that would be kind of interesting to see him kind of lumped into that universe if they try and integrate that any more than they already have. But like I said, I was really concerned about Jared Leto because of all the Joker stuff and a bunch of other crap. But he seems like he's doing all right. He doesn't seem like he's doing his kind of drolly thing. I don't think he's going to get murdered by Christian Bale in this, so that's a downside. But aside from that, I don't think he did a horrible. I don't think what I saw of him was horrible. I think it's all right. The fact that he looks like an emaciated drug addict probably adds to the fact of the believability of the looking like a sickly person. Um, and so now that we've kind of gone over that, I mean that was really the only kind of really big hook on this was that end segment with Michael Keaton and what that and if he is the Vulture or if that's just kind of like we just chucked him in for whatever. It would be interesting to see because again that would kind of cement this film right into the MCU. Um, but I want to know what your thoughts are on the trailer. As usual, it is linked in the description below, so you can go down and watch it. And tell me what you think. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Were you kind of lukewarm on it, like me? And kind of what are you expecting out of this movie? Again, are you excited for it? Or are you not? And like I said, put your thoughts down there. I like to read them. Hit the bell for notifications. Hit the like button. Subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?